So we just heard from Shea Patterson that the new offense is going well, and we're joined now by the Blades Michigan beat writer Ashley Bastock. And Ashley, have you seen the installation of this offense? Is it going as smoothly as Shea wants us to believe?
So I haven't actually seen it, and no reporters have actually seen it. The only people that have seen it are the Michigan players and coaches at this point. So reporters, fans, we won't get a look at it until this Saturday against Middle Tennessee. But by all accounts, everything is running smoothly. Shea Patterson is taking the reins, and all these guys just sound super excited to put this on display, and they all claim it's faster and it makes them all look better.
Certainly, one of the selling points on this offense is get the ball to the playmakers, particularly the wide receivers. And we saw last year what these receivers can do as long as they stay healthy.
Yes. And I mean, the biggest thing it sounds like with this offense is making sure it's balanced. And Josh Gaddis and the players have all said that it's not necessarily just balanced between passing and running. It's balanced between getting their individual playmakers the ball and making sure that they do what they do, which is make plays. So the health is a big thing. Right now, it sounds like Nico Collins, Tariq Black, those guys are feeling pretty good. But with the injuries, we've seen Ronnie Bell kind of emerge. He is a guy who multiple players have singled out as having the play of camp. He had a great one-handed catch during the first or second week of practice. And he spoke today and seems ready to go. And Jim Harbaugh said of him that he's looking more like a football player than a basketball player now, since he was originally being recruited to play college basketball instead of college football. So it seems like they're really happy with their depth, and especially when you consider how much they really want to make sure this offense is balanced between backs, receivers, and tight ends. It seems like they're really just ready to go now.
Speaking of balance, are we going to see a balanced attack in terms of quarterbacks? Because it certainly sounds like Jim Harbaugh wants to get Dylan McCaffrey on the field as well as Shea Patterson. Perhaps not at the same time,
right,
but we're going to see McCaffrey get some snaps.
That's what it sounds like, and Jim Harbaugh was asked about this again on Monday during his weekly press conference and said that they're still not ruling anything out. And probably the least surprising thing of the week, he did name Shea Patterson as the starter, so no surprises there. But McCaffrey did get some looks last season, so right now it sounds like they are still very much willing to go with two quarterbacks and get McCaffrey some looks if necessary.
I would think Bo Schembechler wouldn't quite know what to make out of this offense, because here we are a couple of days before the opener, and we don't know who the featured running back's going to be for the Wolverines.
Right, yeah, and Jim Harbaugh was asked about that again on Monday as well, and said, we don't know. It's still very much a five-man race. They seem to really like that competition. But the person that I'm going to be watching for on Saturday is Zach Charbonnet, the incoming freshman. He's one of the highest rated recruits in the country. He should be a fixture in this offense and on special teams right away. And if he is as advertised, which Jim Harbaugh said on Monday that he should be a quick contributor and could make a real difference in this offense. And the unique thing about him is he has a unique ability to be fast using his size. I believe he's at like 6'2", so he should be a really interesting player to watch come Saturday.
Offensively, you don't lose a whole lot from last year's team. Obviously, Karan Higdon has moved on. Defensively, though, you need to replace Winovich, you need to replace Rashawn Gary. But I think a lot of people are thinking this defense is going to be stout once again, because you still have Don Brown, even though some other assistants are no longer there. Don Brown's still calling the shots. Yeah,
and I think that is the biggest bright point for them, is that this is still his system, and they've been in it for a few years now, so everyone's comfortable. And, these defensive linemen are talking like they know that what people are saying about them, and they don't think it's true, especially guys like Aiden Hutchinson and Carlo Kemp, who have both met with reporters already at this point and are both seen as leaders, with Carlo Kemp even being named one of the team's 3 captains. So they seem like they haven't missed a beat, at least mentally, and it will take us actually seeing them play to see if that's true.
On paper, this should be Jim Harbaugh's best Michigan team. Yet this offseason, it seems almost as if Harbaugh's been making sure the attention's been on him. Is that maybe to deflect it from the team and put the attention on Harbaugh so the team doesn't necessarily feel the pressure?
I don't know if it's necessarily a conscious deflection. I think it's just Jim Harbaugh goes out there and says what he wants to say, and sometimes doesn't necessarily think about what all the perceived repercussions are going to be. Like we kind of saw that ahead of Big Ten Media Days last month with his comments about Urban Meyer and controversy following the former Ohio State coach wherever he goes. But, he said in his mind he wasn't saying anything new. So I think a lot of times he just is concerned with saying how he feels, and that's his personality. mentality, and it isn't necessarily about deflecting anything away from any perceived criticisms of the team, I don't think.
One of the things Coach Harbaugh said multiple times on Monday is past performance is predictor of future success.
Yes.
Is there any reason to be concerned with Middle Tennessee State, a team that did get to a bowl game last year, played for a conference championship game last year? Are the Blue Raiders coming in with upsets on their minds? I'm sure they think they are, but
right, yeah, I
should
think
the Maize
they
and
are
Blue
too.
be concerned
Yeah.
about the Blue Raiders?
I don't know if they should necessarily be concerned. They lost a lot of pieces on offense, including their starting quarterback. So I think, in theory, unless there was a catastrophic meltdown and this Michigan offense turns out to be an abject failure in its first week, there's no reason to worry about Middle Tennessee State. But in a preview capsule that I put out on The Blade yesterday, I said the biggest matchup is Michigan's old offense versus Michigan's new offense. That's what I'm going to be watching. That's what I think most people are going to be watching, since this offense is still the biggest question. But even if it's not so good, I think Michigan would have the playmakers to get a win in week 1.
All right, thanks very much, Ashley. Of course, more of this conversation is available online on the BCSN Now app.